Hi, my name's Simon and I'm sharing my story of how I got to being alcohol-free after nearly 2 decades of working in the wine industry. I was a wine marketer for many years, writing content to help sell home-delivered wine. And that was a great gig, but after a while I had started to question my relationship with alcohol and just alcohol in general. So I was aware of, even though I had drunk alcohol socially, I would have called myself a social drinker, how difficult it was to actually decide, okay, I'm going to cut this out of my life, because it had formed such a big part of so many occasions in my life. I had a couple of times where I would cut it out for a couple of months at a time. I think the longest run I had was about 6 months. But there was always something coming up at the end of that would be, oh, it's that wedding I'm going to, I'll have a drink then, or I've got this big dinner coming up, oh yeah, I'll have a glass then, kind of thing. But then I started to look back at those times and think, oh, I was sleeping much better. I was a lot calmer in general. I had a lot less anxiety. My skin looked better. I felt better. I was exercising. All of these things kind of stacked up. And when I looked back on them, I thought, oh, there was one common factor in all of that, and that was that I'd cut alcohol out. So when I went back and then thought, started looking into the statistics more and decided, yeah, I'm keen to give this up and see how it goes. That was a really easy decision for me. Once I made that decision, it was almost overnight for me. The next day was, that's who I am now. I don't want to do this. And that was the point for me when I knew was that I didn't want to do it. Made it so easy. It's not that I couldn't do it, it's that I didn't want to. The peer pressure is a big thing to get around. And as I said, each time it happens, you become stronger and more used to it. It's kind of like exercising a muscle. You gradually get to the point where it's no big deal at all, and so it doesn't even faze me now. Attitudes are changing, so more often now, when I'm meeting someone for the first time and say, oh, I don't drink, most times the response is just, oh yeah, okay, and then change the topic, which is really good, because I think even in the last 3 years since I stopped, that has changed. If you're thinking about cutting back or thinking about your own relationship with alcohol, there are so many resources out there. And if one approach doesn't work for you, then there are some evidence-based techniques and approaches that are doing great things in terms of helping people through ways like cognitive behavioural therapy, and just peer support is a big thing. Hearing other people's stories and knowing that you're not alone can help a lot in terms of where you're at in terms of making a change.